That hey everybody, this is PD from the Spinner Rack, and we also have
Calvin Ellis, ready to rock.
now. I want us to have some inside baseball for us. This has been very successful for us. These Wonderman videos, the history of Wonderman, and we didn't know it was going to be. So we're stuck doing another one. So you ready to do another Wonderman trailer?
No, no.
Okay,
But I guess
that's
we
a
got to do
good
it, huh?
that's a good enough endorsement for me.
Mm.
I wasn't going to get much else out of them, so here we go.
The entertainment world is stunned today when internationally celebrated and reclusive filmmaker Von Kovac sprung out of retirement to sign on for a remake of Wonderman. Mr. Von Kovac, could you tell us more?
Everyone is tired of superheroes. There is
Yo, that's the dude from Superman.
to reimagine a whole genre of storytelling.
Have you thought about casting?
So, what's this big audition you were talking about?
It's a huge opportunity. I'm auditioning for Wonderman.
Did you hear about Wonder Man? I need to be in this movie.
Sorry, you crazy.
I was born to play this character.
Are you serious? Boo, they are already talking to Leo.
We just gotta go out there and crush it.
What's wrong?
I'm trying to come up with a backstory for the character.
Well, trust the words. Just show up and say them.
That's not my process.
Well, the process can go blow a spider. Guy's killing it in there, bro.
Where have I seen him before? Pretty sure he used to be a terrorist. You can slate whenever you're ready.
Simon Williams, reading for Wonder Man.
Listen to me, Simon. The callback is happening now. Just be normal.
Normal man. The breakdown is go method.
Come in. Mr. Kovac will meet you in the living room.
So you all here to meet Von Kovac? Hello, everyone. I want to explore the place between fiction and non-fiction.
That's tight.
We are going to make the last movie on Earth. No one will have the balls to make another. And action! Any news from Von Kovac?
There is news. You'll be the first to know.
Unless you call me again, in which case I will never tell you.
I would do a Mars moment. He's not with us. To say, I am speechless.
Yeah, I'm speechless too.
I
Not for your reasons, probably.
uh, I can't imagine how this got greenlit.
You remember third base, gas face?
Yes.
Yeah, that one, the part of it was like, boom, that's right over here. That's what this is. Okay, I'm not gonna play nice with this one. I would love to see Wonder Man executed if it was Simon Williams from the actual comic book. Simon Williams does not look like this dude. Simon Williams does not act like this dude. I would love to see that because it's never happened before. And Simon Williams' story is a bit different than the average superhero story. So I would have loved to see them try to bring this. Instead, we're going to get this hunk of junk, which is about method acting, with probably something that has nothing to do with being Wonder Man whatsoever, a dude who doesn't have any superpowers. Why do I care about this? Why? Can you tell me, PD? Why should I care about this?
Because this brother is in it.
Who? The guy who was from Superman?
This guy who's in everything.
Him?
Black Manta, who's in who's Dr. Manhattan, who's in the Black Mirror. Now, see, this is the thing. When I was a kid, I didn't understand. Sometimes there's actors that they would put in your face and they'd be like, why this guy? And they sometimes people would feel some actors are plant. I'm not necessarily saying he's a plant. I'm just saying I would feel like that because when I saw Martin on What's Happening Now, I was like, why are we watching this guy? Can we get, who did recently pass, Danielle Spencer in this more? Because this show is really bad, but I would rather see Danielle Spencer than anyone else on What's Happening Now. And definitely not Martin. Then Martin is in Do the Right Thing. And I'm like, why is this guy in this thing? And why is Spike act the lead part in it, right? And then we watch, what's that movie? What's the name? House Party. And I'm like, Martin, this guy, I don't know his name. I'm just saying, who is this guy? Like, why is he in it? But he was hilarious. And he stole the whole movie. And he figured his character out, and he made the character. And the thing was, he was a success in stand-up, and people were like, let's use him, and then they wouldn't use him how he was going to work out. So they're like, here's the script, and you do that. And then it would be these boring lines. And then you see when he had a little more control and being able to bring his own personality to stuff, he started to blow it, blow everything out the water, and he's doing well. Now, this guy is very good. There's just too much of him, and he's already at DC. And I understand, Josh Brolin's all around. He does a lot of stuff. But at the same time, not for Wonderman. And it got me saying Wonderman. I'm throwing off the R. For Wonderman. Simon Williams. Like it's like, what is it? The football thing that those guys T and Peel do for Wonderman.
I would have loved to have seen.
They're an actor. What do you bring you to this thing? It's like, all right. The thing is, we're just selling you. This is the same problem I had with Trevor in what's the name? It was too set up for that. But this is set up because they know a lot of people come into they're playing off of the idea is that someone comes into the audition and kills it. Obviously, every time there's an audition, they have someone else in mind, right? They always have someone else in mind. Like people just talking about Michael Williamson or the guy who played Bubba Gump, and they were saying how he didn't get a shot, and then he finally got a shot, even though he had all this experience. He finally got a shot, and the people wanted David Allen Greer. That's who Rita Wilson wanted. Rita Wilson wasn't involved in casting. She just said who she wanted. But they knew the person who became Bubba Gump. So when he said he wanted to audition and everyone was saying no, they gave the name to him. They're like, yeah, send him in. We like him. But they really wanted, what's the name? So the thing is, someone comes into a movie and then blows the people away. Like you see the scene laughing. The thing is, when we see him, he's being a bad actor struggling, right? And that's where, if even in Hollywood Shuffle, they have this guy who you see struggling with acting. And then when we get to the last scene when he's playing in the TV commercial saying, there's always the post office, always work at the post office. The way Robert Townsend plays that, you say, yes, he's a talent. He could work. He knows how to act. He's hamming it up here, and you get to the scene. It's a big payoff because of how he acted. We're selling this person acting. We got Trevor. We got all these bad actors. And it's just trying to make fun of this thing and saying there's going to be some humor in it and fun in there. And look, guys, don't be afraid. We got a white guy here as Wonderman. So we got this happen. I keep saying Wonderman. Wonderman. I'm not saying Wonderman anymore. God,
we will see.
I can't. So I'm sorry for monopolizing the time. They give us the worst. Englehart had Al Milgram up the outfit and had him strutting around in this terrible outfit drawn by Al Milgram and Englehart writing. I'm actually matching myself as a superhero. Look at my outfit, how great I look in it. And so soon it got simplified to the W with the dark colors. And then definitely Byrne gets credit for the mullet, which he didn't. He gained the mullet. He got rid of the mullet in issue 50 of the Avengers West Coast. So he was able to treat, but he didn't do it on the page. When we next see him after he was in a terrible avalanche caused by Wanda, his hair is cut down. So, but he doesn't explain it. So the costume was simplified a whole lot because this just did not work. And the other key is the eyes. Sorry, y'all. Wonder Man has to pay paid off in his look. The ionic thing, not necessarily the Kirby thing of having a whole ionic thing. The cool part was the eye. You take off the thing, and he looked like a regular guy, even in the safari outfit. You take off the thing, the glasses, like what the hell? But my other thing I'll say, and I'll pass it off, is that Wonder Man had a story that doesn't pay off to people now, right? But the death of Wonder Man in the Avengers was one of the key stories, even though Avengers wasn't that successful. That's one that kind of got repeated, and at the same time, for the 60s, saying this happened, this was a moment, him sacrificing himself for the Avengers. So much so, that's why he got, shoehorned into the Vision. So people could remember that great story to say, go back and check out Avengers, was it 8 or something like that? Because, he gave him Vision's patterns when it's just like, hey, Ultron's a robot with no human stuff. Wouldn't it just be great to have a robot that just falls in love, turns on the villain and all that stuff? But that's how important that was, at least to Roy Thomas, even if it isn't as big as I'm saying. Roy Thomas felt it was a good enough story to say, let me connect that to the Vision, who was a very popular character. And ultimately, through that, made people feel maybe we should bring him back. And even though he wasn't a big character, don't put him in this. Don't do this with the black guy. And I don't know how this is going to end, but I don't know what this is. I have no idea.
You know how it's going to end. You know how it's going to end. And we never see this guy again. I would have loved it if they had decided, like, who's this cat who played remember the guy who played Craven?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have got him for this. All right, who do you need? You need a dude, not too young, maybe like 30s, that type of stuff. Handsome dude, charming looking. Somebody who looks like he's an actor, because that's what he's supposed to be doing. You get that over there. Not too bulky or anything of that nature. They don't particularly like that anyway on the stuff, with the exception of Henry Cable. And you put him in there. And then we actually get the Wonder Man story. And see, how it would have been really cool if they had actually worked the storyline. And they worked the storyline that he's actually a villain, came over here, made this ultimate sacrifice in order to help the Avengers. And then we bring him in, and you could actually get some story going. You could have bled it into a White Vision at the end of the day. But instead, we got, literally, this is a meta narrative. It's meta fiction.
Well,
it's like they don't get it. Yeah. This was the same thing that you got critiqued for with She-Hulk. This isn't breaking the fourth wall. Okay, this isn't breaking the fourth wall, but it's obvious meta. It's obvious meta. We got the older film, the white actor. Okay, well now we.
Hey, your audio.
I forgot. I got to look straight ahead. Let me know if I'm better.
You better.
Yeah, we got the older film. We got the older film. Got the white actor. But now it's it's 2025, so we want to do things different. We want to flip the script. What's the best thing we can do to flip the script? Put a black dude in there, so he's going to be Wonder Man. But you had a really good story in what happened to some. If anybody had told you that you would get that much mileage out of the introduction of Wonder Man in Avengers number 10, you would probably have told them no. Now I know some of the stuff went behind the scenes. They're like, oh no, we want to get Wonder Man in here. Why? Because they don't have Wonder Man yet over at DC. And these guys seem to be pretty slow at marketing these things. So we want to keep this going. So, let's do this whole thing with Wonder Man. But like you said, you have Wonder Man, you have this great story right here in Avengers 10. What happened it was Ultron. Ultron ended up using his brain patterns for the Vision.
Yeah.
Then eventually Wonder Man comes back. You got the love triangle that goes on. goes one way, goes the other way, but he becomes a fixture. He becomes a fixture in the Avengers, which I thought worked very well because he wasn't a character who could necessarily carry his own title, but he was
Yeah.
a perfect supporting character. He was a perfect continuous member of the Avengers. There was no problem with that. So now I'm like, all right, he's got enough backstory. He's not a major player, but since he is one of these second, third tier characters, okay, you could actually, play around with him a little bit more, and you could have some fun. You could probably turn in a good story. No, let's not do that. We want to do a meta narrative. We want to actually, and again, it's a self-serving one. It's a conceit because it becomes like, oh, why don't we talk about the acting process? Let's not have a superhero show. Let's talk about the acting process, and try to ostensibly make it a superhero show. Dude doesn't even have superpowers. Nobody has superpowers. This is about making a movie about somebody with superpowers. It's so whack.
Yeah. And I think what was it? I don't know. This is a lot of stuff to the character in even before he became Wonder Man, where he, you know, had his own company and they were struggling and all that other stuff. So there's a lot of things in there which connects to the Marvel universe. And all this stuff is like, how do you do the cheapest thing? And then we also spend money on we'll spend money on this actor and obviously Ben Kingsley, but at the same time, then we're gonna still, I don't know. This is right here. This is what's it? What's that thing? What's it? Man, damn it. With the gang with Chaz Palminteri, Bronx Tale. Her using it going backwards. This is what the gangster was doing, driving a car in the neighborhood to show that he controls the neighborhood. He could drive backwards through that and look, but he's looking backwards while he's doing it, or looking through the mirror, and they just like, let's steal. This would be a cool thing to steal. I don't know. There's nothing. What? Look, I'm
Let's say
saying
it.
maybe I don't know what I'm saying. If I'm maybe I don't know what. Maybe this could be new version of television putting out a season of some weird ass show every time that so has a superhero in it at some point in there, and this
Just
could
say it.
be, huh?
Just say it. You're being nice. Just say it.
I'm just saying the thing is that they don't.
Are you gonna say it or do I have to say it?
What do you
Who's gonna say
say?
it?
You say what do you
It's
gonna say?
it's trash. It's a
I'm just
season of
saying you
it's a
to
season
make your maximum amount of money is
it's a
do.
season of trash. They're not thinking about
I
making any
don't.
money. This
I'm
is all these are all like
see.
vanity projects from behind the scenes. It's trash. Treasure, 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 trash.
You want to have something that you can repackage, and when it's not making you money on what's the name, you're able to sell not a mini series, to sell a series and say, here's five thing of a story that fell apart somewhere while you were doing it, and like you giving us closest with Sir Ben Kingsley is not helping. None of this is helping, and they keep trying to bring him in there to sell us on Iron Man 3 to say it made sense. It made sense. So there he is, and he might be bigger. It might be something else later. No, it's done. All right. And the other thing is that
They brought him in there. Oh, good grief! Him being in there is the same as Yahya being in there. It's a it's to somehow legitimize this trash, and it doesn't. But Sir Ben Kingsley is like, hey, if you want to pay me some money, I'll take it. It wasn't this. This is not a very hard role for me. I have fun. No, I'll take the money.
but
And
this
Yahya probably signed up thinking like, oh wow, yeah, it's Marvel. Let's see. Oh man, I'm locked into this. I can't get out of this contract.
well, that's the thing. I think the Marvel mystique is just falling apart and trying to do. I don't know. you understand that you're not going to be an art house of miniseries of things, so you can say I don't want to get stuck having to pay an actor more next season. That's why they're questioning doing. They string you along, and then they keep your contract so far out, so you can't ask for no more money. So it's like, and then you get them to make some movies that are smaller, and you get to do some more stuff. But this
Yeah, but
is just not.
they keep doing this. How many projects have they greenlit to their streaming? It's undermined the brand of their streaming. It's undermined Marvel. It's undermined the Marvel brand. It's undermined Disney's brand, and they keep doing it. Look how many things that they have put out to streaming, and we're never going to see these characters again. And these were characters that were viable. Moon Knight should have easily had a second season, maybe a third one, if you actually just did some of the comic stuff and they decided no. We're never going to see Ironheart again. Okay. I'm trying to think of who else. We're not even going to, I thought Hawkeye was actually decent. We're not going to see that again.
Well, we were going to, but now we're not going to see Hawkeye because they can't. They gonna pay him half. Tried to pay him half of what he made the first time.
No, my dude's like, hey, I'm lucky to be alive, and you don't want to give me money? Yeah, I'm
Well,
out.
he said even funny. He said, "What? Because there's only half of me left from last time. You gonna pay me that much?" Look, another thing is, you want to do this. You want to do no superhero punching and hitting. Go to your Atlas catalog and pull out, Wanted. What is it? Some westerns. You got westerns. You got sci-fi. You got war things.
Man, don't give them any help. Don't give them any help. Don't help these dudes. No, because you're gonna tell them about these books. They're gonna go to Wanted and be like, "Oh, yeah, I know what we could do. I know a perfect meta narrative." No, don't help them. Wait till we get some people in here who actually want to make some good superhero stuff. Don't tell them about these books. Let them keep looking at. Let them keep looking at like that. Anything from like 2022 forward. Let them keep reading that trash, and we'll save all the good stories until we can get some competent people over there. Don't tell them about anything.
Well,
Everything.
But that's the hard part is that even if you do that and you take you take anything, you take Wyatt Wingfoot, say, hey, you know what, we can just use a regular guy, we can do like a Indiana Jones with him, right? But then it's like, you know what, now we got to spend money on big action scenes and big monsters and all that, and it's like, wait a second, like you gonna put all this money into the wire? Yeah, it needs something, and you gotta have some Marvel flair into it. But your other stories are so much mundane crap in it, and now you go the other way. No, but so it's like they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot, and they're like, we're gonna do Wonderman, who's under some writers they decided he was stronger than everybody, So it's like you got that sort of thing, so he could be fighting some strong strong Marvel menaces, and you can have some backstory. Maybe try to deal with his backstory. Maybe try to build a decent supporting cast. But
Yeah.
I think they're just looking at it and saying,
See, I know you don't. I know you don't have any for this. Okay, I know you're trying really hard, but I know you don't have any respect for what we're seeing right here because you just slipped again. You think this is like
Sorry, can you
dynamite?
Hey, what's that? Safe state?
No, you say oh, sorry. I gotta remember to keep myself straight ahead with these particular phones. No, I said I know you don't have any respect because you just slipped again. You think this is like Marvel's version of Dynamite Chicken or something? You know I know because you just said Wonder Man. You don't respect this. Okay, every time you put that A after the D, we both know it's trash. Okay, Wonder with a hard R, as we like to say. Wonderman, yes.
Wonder.
As soon as we hear Wonder, no, it's like what is it? Like Romper Room? No, it was wonderful.
It's like
It's trash.
Um,
I'm not watching. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna let you and Mars handle this one. I'm not watching it. I'm not wasting my time.
I mean, I expected some. Well, they're giving us. I don't know.
look, at this point, I'm having too much. I haven't. Well, I didn't watch season 1 or 2 of Peacemaker, but I'm finally having fun with the DC stuff. That's actually been like, okay, it hasn't been bad. It hasn't been bad. It hasn't been to the point where I'm like, oh, good grief. Because there was one point I was going to stop watching stuff on Netflix because every other thing they were doing, I was like, I don't understand who films are for. Did you watch House of Guinness?
No, I don't. Oh, no, I don't think so.
I'm watching House of Guinness, and it's supposed to be historical. It's supposed to be historical. So by episode 2, they got somebody gay. And I'm like, wait a second, historically, this guy isn't gay. So I'm like, I don't understand why you guys are making these choices, in making your films. Not necessarily that everything is gay, but you're putting additives here like your audience wants this, and your audience does not want this. And then with the superhero stuff, who's the backbone of the superhero stuff? Guys who have been reading this stuff for decades. Okay, it's not hard to give us what we know. What we want. All you gotta do is go to the comics. Nobody asked for a meta narrative with a black Wonder Man. We didn't ask for this. Who's the audience for this? And then the people that you're aiming this for, to be quite honest, they did not ask for this. So I have no sympathy when it crashes and burns. Anybody attached to it should have known better, but don't help them. Don't help them. Don't recommend anything to them because they will go over and they're just going to raise it and then try to build it. They're going to take it and they're just going to end up trying to turn it inside out so they can say, oh, look at what we made. Instead of making a good Wonder Man show, look what we did.
Yeah. And just because you don't got no money and you're going to, I don't know. We had, what was it? I said Nathan, was it Phil? Was it the guy who played the Guy Gardner? He was supposed to be Wonder Man. And then
well, he dodged a bullet there, right? Because he would have been black.
Oh God. So it's it's just sad. It's just sad.
Mm.
I thought that it would lead to, we didn't even get to see this little bit of stuff here turn him into a B character with inflatable muscles. It's just, and Trevor, I don't.
And you got Yahya here. I'm pretty certain he's like, man, I could have been in Green Lantern.
Oh, that's dude. That's the thing. If they switch Aquaman to Lobo, he could definitely have been Jon Stewart, and people would have went crazy. Would have went totally nuts. Like if Josh Brolin could play Cable and Thanos. You said a mouthful with that one. Do you really
look at him? Look at him. Tell me he doesn't look like Jon Stewart.
That hurts.
He looks like Neil Adams. He looks like Neil Adams, Jon Stewart. The guy that got playing Jon Stewart now, he's got a superhero look. He's got the height, got the right looks, got the good chiseled looks at the end of the day. But I can't say that he looks like Jon Stewart. I can't say that he does.
All right. You're not going to say because you're trying to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Brother's just too light-skinned.
Hey, I didn't say it, but I can't say I disagree.
I just got a win where they say, they had a video where they said the guy is like, so you gotta, he said, where you going to the girl? And it's some sort of light-skinned chronicle thing. It's like, where you going? So they got them light-skinned guys out there. He said, don't worry, I don't even like light-skinned guys. And she goes out and she gets enthralled by a light-skinned guy. And he's like, what are you doing out there? Light-skinned guy. So we just gotta win. And then we throw it away with making the mistake of using that guy as Jon Stewart and me having to say it's a mistake. Like, yo, Jon Stewart, look at the cover. Look at the cover.
I know why they casted him. They casted him because of his work. He did something. They did some Bayou doc on Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. He did a good job in that. They did a terrible job with King, but I think they did. He did a good job. He did a good job with Malcolm X with his portrayal. So like, okay, good. So you can come over here. He's got that going for him. But probably do. I can't say I'm hearing nothing but good stuff because they have definitely been a little bit more tight with the details from Lanterns. But that's what you want to do. You
Yeah.
want to get these guys into those particular things. I don't, I just, again, it makes me so frustrated. You don't want this actor to be in this TV show about Wonder Man. And quite frankly, he doesn't look a thing like Wonder Man. There's no reason for him to be in this show, and he has no connection whatsoever to Wonder Man. There are other characters that you could have easily fit him into. And then when I say John Stewart, it becomes glaring like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
uh-oh. But that's what happens when you're doing these vanity projects.
Yo, but yo,
Hey,
you could toss out, um, I was okay with Watchmen. You could toss out Watchmen. You could toss out Aquaman. You could definitely, this one is below all of that. So toss that out for him as John Stewart. That is crazy. That is just a shame. And I always think of the Neil Adams cover and the importance of what Neil Adams did to get this to happen. Regretfully, the bust of him looks like that they made looks like the Jim Lee version, but there's a face that that Neil gave, and even if it's not exactly that face, he's that. So call it a day, and it's a shame.
anybody who's not, see, anybody doesn't understand why, when we say Neil Adams, there's a reason because one of the criticisms that they had with with drawing black men or black people, period, in comics one of the criticisms was it looked like a white person. They just colored it, brown.
Yes.
And when you looked at Neil Adams, it's just Neil Adams. You got Jack Kirby, Neil Adams, and a lot of times it's everybody else. But Neil Adams over here is like, okay, and his photorealistic style, top notch, top tier, untouched. And he could draw. He could look at features and say, okay, let me get a commonality of features here. Okay, let me make it my own. And he had John Stewart's look. And that was John Stewart's look for a very long, even though other guys didn't quite do it the same, but the hairstyle, facial feet, that was John Stewart's look. Okay, great. If you don't, you can go, you can check out the issue. I forget the issue. I wish I remembered the issue number, but you can go check out his first appearance, the cover. He's right there on the cover. Okay, excellent, excellent. That's a character you see first time. You want to know more about this guy. Plenty of dynamism on the cover. That's where this actor should be. He should be with a character like this. But, and I'll reiterate, don't tell them anything. Okay, they can't use John Stewart because he's with DC. Don't know whatever you're thinking right now. Oh, well, this would be like, no, don't say anything. Don't say anything to these guys because they're just gonna come over here and they're gonna muck it up. Okay, they're just gonna totally violate it, use it, leave it used on the ground, and then pat themselves on the back for making a mess of things. Don't tell them anything. Yeah, there's a bunch of characters that this guy could have probably been plugged into, and people would have been even if it was a B or C level character. That's perfect for television. That's perfect for television. Nobody knows this character. You can, really jazz them up a bit, make them cool. But again, I reiterate, this is a superhero show, and there is no superhero.
This is the this is the this is this is the bigger thing of saying,
Look at this.
not
Look at
giving
this.
not giving them anything, because even with that said, you can go through the Marvel universe and find, and I'm not even going to what the people would immediately say, finding not no, you can take a supporting character from anywhere in Marvel, even though some are already out there done and that they've been cast good ones that he could play. You could find somebody and you can build up a story, a movie around certain characters, villains that are already out there that you don't even have to kill yourself to do. So it's just a shame that they wasted him on this, and at the same time, him as an actor, being a guy and taking this money, but I don't think he has taken the full step into stardom. But they're trying to get him there, and for having
Not with
him,
the, not with this.
yeah, this is they'll have him right where they want him, and then he can play Thug number 5 in another story until he figures it out, because this is not the project to be in. And
If
I would, any actor going to Marvel, I would say I really need to see the script. I really need to see what the production designs are, and because a lot of times actors also get to say more as the movies progress and say, where do we want to go with this, and they get to sometimes add stuff, sometimes they're not able to add stuff, but some of the stuff sometimes works to the works to the project, sometimes it cannot work, but at the same time Marvel doesn't know what they're doing, so it would work. Anything would be better than this. So as an actor, you're going to Marvel, it would be better even if you're not. I mean, Bryan Cranston wanted to do who's that guy, Mr. Sinister. Don't do that. There's better things, and get to a comic book guy that could help you and say they give you some wacky idea for comics. Do what they said Feige was doing. Here, Hugh Jackman, look at these Wolverine things.
remember, everybody was in love with Bass Reeves for like all 2 years after Watchmen.
Yeah.
So if you one, because of the way that they did Shield, and they had Sam Jackson as Nick Fury instead of like Nick Fury proper. I would, if they had done that, then it would have been a perfect line. Like, hey, why don't we do something with one of the supporting characters? Oh, let's do something with Maria Hill. No, she's had plenty of exposure. Hey, why don't we do something with Gabe Jones? Perfect. You can bring somebody in that way. Or since everybody was so in love with Bass Reeves, hey, why don't we do what's this guy's name? Reno Jones, the Western hero. Like, why don't we do something with Reno Jones over here? Yeah, we could do that, and he could like total, black Western character, no problem. Not a lot of not too much stuff attached to him. You could have read the Young Gun story that he was a part of. Some of the other things, perfect for this guy. And you can come over here, do some shoot 'em up, whole bunch of cool stuff you could have done at this point. Now, I don't mind mentioning Gabe Jones and Reno, because they're never gonna find those guys. They're gonna be like, who? They're never gonna find them. But that's thinking. That's thinking. Okay, we got this guy over here. We don't really have a. Wait a minute. Why don't we explore this type of stuff here? Everybody likes Bass Reeves. All right. Well, is there a Bass Reeves type character with Marvel? There is. Yeah, we got this guy right here, Reno Jones. Oh wow, really? He's a Western. Oh wow, who are these other guys over here? Well, you got Two Gun Kid. You got the Rawhide Kid. You got who's it? The Ghost Rider. The guy who rode the horse. Oh wow, there's a whole world we can play around with over here, and we could put him up front. Yeah, there'd be no problem putting him up front. Well, do we have to have the Rawhide Kid looking like this? No. Look over here. Look at this series called Young Guns. They redesigned them. Oh wow, yeah, we could really get some stuff out of this at the end of the day. And this will be a Marvel production, a Western. Has anybody done something like this before? No, we'd be the first people. Yeah, let's do that. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, that's what you're supposed to be doing. But right over here, I'm not even afraid to say it at the end of the day, because you're not going to do it. And if you do it, I'm going to sue you, because I got it on record here that it was my idea.
But you with you bringing that up, only thing it's saying is it's just like, look, you're doing sets that you don't have to kill yourself with. Where do you think the harder they fall was at? Some basic sets of Western sets. So you want to do that, find but they're just coming here. You're doing all these half-gassed ideas. None of it's working. Even the She-Hulk idea is there because that's what the idea of the comic would be, her being in court. But then it's just like you got caught up in the politics, and you decided this is our year of politics and fixing America, and every one show at a time, wagging our finger at everybody when saying, what do you think? Sit down and going to the She-Hulk. Sit down and look at Ally McBeal and say Ally McBeal captured the freaking, what we would call it, viral. Like, it was just the thing. They actually did the, what was it, I forget what it called for women, the time clock for women. They did the whole baby time clock thing with a baby walking out with an arrow without any precursor, and people got it. And then it became a big thing that people were going to be using and trying to factor in. And for me, it was more like kind of, and that wasn't like Peter Parker, but it was kind of like a Peter Parker type of thing of a person struggling with romantic type stuff. And so it's like, but that's encapsulated the whole thing of the character. It was a person who was very much into guys, not into saying, hey, you came the wrong way. You approached me the wrong way, attacked me in this thing. The She-Hulk, Daredevil's about women being attacked in the alley, and you find out that woman is Elektra. That's what you get to do. She-Hulk turned it into that. So all these ideas have been half-gassed, and as it goes along, the most straightforward, as same like with Green Lantern at DC, as these TV shows go along, Falcon and Winter Soldier is looking like a freaking gem. It's looking like an Emmy award winning thing compared to all the stuff where it was just a really good sort of thing that Marvel did, the basics of action and espionage and all that stuff. Now it's looking like high end television. They should have just kept doing it. You know, and I had my problems with it, but at the same time, as it goes along, no one's going back and looking at WandaVision. It's a one-time viewing, and then they didn't even, for the skin factor, they didn't even work out the costume. We could only look at the fake Halloween costume and be like, whoa, there's something there. If they just did the tailoring right, we'd be somewhere. So, you know, this is the thing that we got to work with, where we have Marvel. They set themselves as the industry leader, and then we get this. We get this. They're saying they're fixing television, and it's now they're saying we're going to see less movies and another piece of crap. Why? Sorry.
Well, you could have had something good with Reno Jones.
Yeah. Well, oh man, it's just Marvel. Waste. You don't waste. It's like I was saying the other thing about the actors and Martin. The problem of it being is that you have this actor, right? And you're thinking you're more important than the actor, right? So you're doing superheroes, and you got a guy who's in shape and handsome, pause, and then next thing you know, you don't put him in a superhero outfit when he was already in DC doing superhero stuff, and he's already doing, you know, in two things, right? Yeah, it's two things he did. He did The Watchmen, and he did Aquaman. So it's like he's up for doing the action stuff, and you're saying there's gonna be action at some point, not with his character. So I bring back to the Martin thing and saying Martin had talent, but the director of House Party was like, let him do his thing. Whereas Spike Lee should be like, hey, this guy is funny. People think I'm funny. Let me throw myself out the movie. Put Martin in the lead. Go in there and find that character, and we find out that we have a better movie, a person that could possibly carry the movie, rather than we looking at Spike and saying, I don't know about this. I don't want to see Spike in the lead. But as an actor, not say that, but as a director, you're supposed to be finding the talent, not necessarily looking. And I'm wrong. Spike did the movie. It's one of the movies that connected with everyone. It really made him, even though he made himself with She's Gotta Have It. That one solidified himself as a filmmaker forever. So I'm totally wrong on that, because the success of the movie is what it is. But as a director, you don't always want it to be about you. And you want to be able to say, I found this guy. I found Martin was in my movie and he became a star, or people found him from that movie, rather than saying it was just that. Yes, we found, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Robin Williams, who passed. Robin Harris, who passed. But he, you know, and he was coming up, but you also have Martin. You have John Turturro's going into these big things, and you had Giancarlo Esposito. These guys that became bigger outside of your realm. They became people that you see and you want to put in your movies. And even he found something with Sam Jackson with what's the name, but you know, it was built over time. So that sort of thing. So he's found a couple people. Can't say Denzel. Denzel was already established. But you have someone, you have a project. Go look at the Guilty by Suspicion with De Niro. De Niro has to do a bad film, and he's like, no, we're not shooting it like this. We're going here, and we're going here, and we're doing this. And you rewrite, and you get a better story. You don't do this. You sit around and the director, you're like, what are we doing? And what is this about? Can I turn this into 4 episodes, get some action in here, and do something totally different with this guy? Can we just scrap this and cut that? We'll take that budget that we have left and cut it to 4, and we have a good 4-episode thing. Nope, we're going to go through with this and have another bad project, and then have him destroy his career because he's going to be complaining about this in Marvel, and then everyone says he's a jerk. Even though he's been in every movie possible, every kind of Marvel, he's been in 2 DC projects, and then somehow he was always terrible. He was bad to people. So we're bringing back. Who's that guy? We're bringing back. What's that guy? Oh man, the time guy. Sorry, I'm out. Let's get out of here. It's a shame. I forced Cal into doing this, and at the same time, now I'm falling apart because of Wonderman. The key in acting is bringing forth something in there, and them having him say it like that is just terrible.
Just say trash.
Spinnerack,
We're out.
Out with this trash later.